Hello students, in this class I will explain Young's double slit experiment. So this is a very important concept, and the scientist Young observed interference pattern with the help of sunlight and pinhole. Instead of using sunlight and pinhole, we are using slits. Slit means a narrow opening. And also I said to observe the interference pattern. The sources should be a coherent sources. So when two sources are said to be coherent means the two sources produces waves, right? That waves should have same frequency, and those two waves should maintain constant phase difference. And no two independent source is coherent sources. So how to obtain the coherent sources means, so from this slit, a monochromatic wavelength is incidenting on this slit. From this slit, the wavefront will incident on the two slits. These two slits are kept parallel to this single slit. Then what happens? The waves will divide into two slits equally. That is called by division of wavefront. By division of wavefront. When the wave incidents two slits, that wavelets or wavefronts will divide equally into the two slits. Then these two slits, narrow openings, behaves as a coherent sources, because for these two slits the wavefront or the light incidenting is from common source, single source, right? Hence frequency remains same, and it will maintain some constant phase difference or a zero phase difference. Hence these two sources we can consider as coherent sources. This is a method to obtain coherent sources, that is by division of wavefront. Then from these two sources, again the wavefront will travel according to Huygens principle. Each and every point it will send the disturbance, that is called as secondary wavelets. Finally we will place a screen here. So there will be a interfere on two waves or superposition on two waves. Due to the superposition of two waves traveling nearly in same direction, on the screen what type we will observe means, somewhere the intensity maximum, that there the bright fringe will form, somewhere intensity is minimum, there dark fringe is formed. So in this pattern we will observe the interference. This is Young's double slit experiment. We are explaining by considering slits and monochromatic light. So suppose if the sources are incoherent means you will not observe these fringes, these interference pattern. Okay, that will be a dynamic. That means here we can able to say this is a static pattern, static interference pattern. So if sources are incoherent means that frequency is random, then the interference pattern will not be a static. That will be a random. Okay, dynamic. So there will be interference, but our eye cannot able to observe these bright and dark fringes. And that is the cross sectional view. Here in this cross sectional view, let us consider the same thing. The wavelength lambda is incidenting. This is first source, and these wavefronts are dividing equally into two slits. So let us say this is a crest and this is a trough. Like crest and troughs are moving forward. Then again here also you see, after this crest, again I have drawn a trough here, right? Then again crest, and observe the diagram carefully. In this point, okay, in the straight line, so this pink line is upon pink line, that means this crest is upon crest, next trough is upon trough, again crest is upon crest. So what type of superposition that is? Nothing but crest upon crest, trough upon trough, constructive superposition, right? So intensity maximum in this direction, you see the crest is falling on crest, trough is falling on trough. So here on the screen you will obtain bright fringe, and next in this direction you observe crest is falling upon trough and trough is falling upon crest. So destructively they are interfering, destructive superposition. Hence at this point you will observe a dark fringe, dark band. So similarly after the dark, again there will be a crest upon crest, trough upon trough, constructively interfering. Hence you will observe bright fringe. And in this direction also, after bright you will observe dark, then again you will observe bright, like a series of dark and bright fringes you will observe on a screen. This is nothing but interference pattern on the screen. I hope you understood this Young's double slit experiment. This is how we can able to produce the fringes on the screen. And next in Young's double slit experiment, you will study the expression for fringe width and position of the bright and dark fringes. That is very important for your PU exam. Write down the heading: expression for fringe width. Expression for fringe width. Let us consider two slits, two coherent sources. This is S1 and this is S2. S1 and S2 are the two slits are coherent sources. And let us consider the distance between two slits. This is the distance. This distance, let us consider it is small d. Small d is the distance between two slits. And at some distance you place a screen. So the distance between these two slits and that screen, let us consider the distance is capital D. Capital D is the distance between the slits and screen. Small d is the distance between two slits. Then from this slit 1, the wave will travel. Okay. From S2 also the wave will travel. Let us consider a perpendicular bisector like here, this line. So at this point is, let us say it as O. Okay, or let us say central axis. This is the central axis, this point is O. Then you see that point is equidistant from slit S1 and S2. How much distance is there from this point to this point? From this point to this point is also same distance. That point O is equidistant from S1 and S2. Equidistant means if the wave travel from S1 and reaches point O, and the wave travel from S2 and reaches point O, both will travel same distance. Same distance means path difference is 0. Path difference is 0, hence phase difference will also come 0. then that will interfere constructively. So always at this point center you will obtain a bright fringe. This point, let us say it as O. Always at point O you will obtain bright fringe. Why? Because this is just now I said the path difference is 0. So arbitrary point let us choose. At this point it may form bright or dark. If it obeys the condition of bright fringe will form, or at this point it obeys the condition for dark fringe will form. We will see what are the conditions for bright and dark fringes. So let us take that point P. At point P, the wave from S1 source, the wave will travel and reaches the point P. Okay. And I am representing this ray of light. The wavelets is traveling in this way, right? If you draw a perpendicular line, that is nothing but ray of light. From here also, the wave will travel and reaches. From S2 also, the wave will travel and reaches the point P. And observe carefully. In this case, the distance travelled by the wave from S2 is more comparing to the distance travelled by the wave from S1 to P. That means this distance is more, this distance is less. There is path difference. Due to the path difference, there will be a phase difference. Again I said, we will see conditions for bright and dark fringes. For that, let us say this point, let us consider it as E, and this point let us consider it as F. Okay, this is source S2, and then see I am deriving the conditions and expression for fringe width. See triangle, in triangle S1 P E. In this triangle, S1 P square is equals to S1 E square plus EP square. So this I can able to write S1 P square is equals to S1 E square, means that distance, this distance is equals to capital D square, plus here EP square means from this point to this point, the distance. So this distance is D, means this distance become D by 2. So this distance is what? D by 2. D by 2 means EP distance, tell me. Let us take the point O to P, that distance is X. Okay, we have considered a point, right? That point is at a distance X from O. Then S1P square is equals to, this distance is D, then EP square, let us take the distance as X minus D by 2 square, isn't it? This is the value of S1P square. And in triangle S2PE, sorry, S2PF. In this triangle, in that triangle, you see carefully, S2P square is equals to, we can write that one as S2EF square plus FP square. Then S2P square is equals to S2F square. Again I can able to write D square. FP square, observe carefully, X plus D by 2 whole square. So in this let us take this is equation 1 and let us take this is equation 2. Then what you have to do means subtract equation 2 and 1. That means here or subtract equation 1 from 2. So you can write here s2p square minus s1p square is equals to d square plus x plus d by 2 whole square, x plus d by 2 whole square minus d square plus x minus d by 2 whole square. So you have to simplify that one. s2p square minus s1p square is equals to, we will get d square plus a square plus b square plus 2ab, you will get this 2 and 2 will get cancel, and minus d square plus here x minus a square plus b square minus 2ab, here also 2 and 2 will get cancel. And next what you will get, s2p square minus s1p square is equals to, here 2 and 2 will get cancel. Then if you simplify this expression, you will get finally this d square also will get cancel, and x square also will get cancel, d square by 4 also will get cancel, here minus of minus you will get plus, finally you will get 2xd after solving this equation. That means this step. Then here a square minus b square form, again you can write s2p plus s1p into s2p minus s1p, a plus b into a minus b, this equals x2xd. And then here we can able to write s2p minus s1p is equals to 2xd divided by s2p plus s1p. So why we are deriving like this from here means we want path difference. Okay, mathematically we are trying to get path difference. Yes, hence we have taken this triangle. Okay, s1p e triangle, and another one is s2p triangle. In that we came to know what is the value of s2p. By doing like this we got that expression s2p minus s1p. s2p means what? s2p is the distance travelled by the wave from the second source. s1p is what? s1p is the distance travelled by the wave from the first source. So the difference in path is nothing but path difference. There we calculated path difference s2p minus s1p value. So after calculating the path difference, we have to take some approximation. Before that listen. So this x is the distance from this midpoint O to where we have considered a point P. Then here what approximation we have to consider means, the next approximation is, let us consider x is very smaller than capital D and x is very close to point O. Okay, like that we have to consider. So what does it mean? What is the meaning by considering that x is very greater means, suppose this is the two sources, this is one wave, this is another wave, you have to consider this. So this screen is keeping at very large distance, this screen is placing at very large distance. Then what happens? Almost these two waves appears to be parallel. The screen you take at a large distance, then these two lines appears to like this parallel lines, right? So that is first condition. That is first approximation we are considering. And next approximation is that a point P means this x distance is very less. This point P is very close to, or I will write point P is very close to O. That means here it is making some angle theta, right? Here also it is making some angle theta, right? So then if we consider the point P is very close to O, this angle theta become very small. If the angle theta become very small means then these lines almost become parallel. It will become almost straight, theta is small. In that way we will consider some we will take some approximation. So after taking this approximation, then if two lines become parallel means definitely S1 P distance and S2 P distance become same. Then you should not subtract and here you should not make 0. This is path difference. Here you cannot able to consider like S2P and S1P both are same means it is 0. No, here only we have to consider. Okay, slight error will come, but also we can consider, we can able to solve. That error is very small. So here S2P minus S1P, the path difference is equals to, after this approximation you can able to write 2xt is equals to S2P also you can consider capital D and S1P also you can consider capital D. Then this will become S2P minus S1P, this become 2xd divided by 2d. Here 2 and 2 will get cancelled. And that S2P and S1P I will write delta x. Delta x is called path difference. That path difference is equals to xd divided by capital D. Remember this formula. Path difference. Path difference is xd divided by capital D. And then after knowing the path difference, we have to find the condition for bright fringe and dark fringes. For that, in the last class I explained condition for constructive interference and destructive interference. In constructive interference, to have maximum intensity or to get bright fringe, the path difference should be equals to n lambda. So here after a continuation I will write here that delta x, otherwise I have to rub here. Okay. So path difference we got expression xd divided by capital D for nth bright fringe. Okay. So here you know that center bright fringe will form. Next dark fringe, bright, dark, like that. This is the expression for nth bright fringe. For in that nth bright fringe, path difference delta x should be equals to, in the last class for constructive interference, the path difference should be equals to n lambda. Isn't it? So here the path difference value is how much we got? In this expression xd divided by capital D is equals to n lambda. And this x is nothing but the distance of nth fringe, nth bright fringe from this central fringe or central bright fringe. Okay, xn, we came to know that xn is equals to n lambda capital D divided by small d. This is what? This is the position expression, position of the nth bright fringe from this central bright fringe, from this point O. And next I will get the condition for nth dark fringe, nth dark fringe, that is delta x is equals to, nth dark fringe condition is, you know that 2n minus 1 into lambda by 2, isn't it? The path difference should be equals to lambda by 2, 3 lambda by 2, 5 lambda by 2, that is nothing but 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. So here the path difference expression we got xd divided by capital D, x nth dark fringe. For that you can use x dash n. X dash n means that is for dark fringe, that equals 2n minus 1 lambda by 2. And then what is the expression for position of dark fringe from the central bright fringe? Always central bright fringe only form. Xn dash is equals to 2n minus 1 lambda capital D divided by 2D. Okay, remember this expression. These expressions are very, very important. This is the expression for nth bright fringe, this is the expression for nth dark fringe. Then after knowing the here position of bright fringe and dark fringe, next we will derive or we will obtain the expression for fringe width. So at this point the path difference is n lambda means bright fringe will form. At this point the path difference is 2n minus 1 lambda by 2 means dark fringe will form. Then what is the position of bright fringe? We have to use this formula, position of nth bright fringe. For position of nth dark fringe we have to use this formula. And next here I will define fringe width. Fringe width. Here fringe width is defined as the distance between two consecutive bright or dark fringes. The distance between two consecutive bright or dark fringes is called fringe width, and it is denoted by letter beta. Then how to understand that concept means, let us see here, this is bright fringe, this is bright fringe, next is dark fringe, and next is again bright fringe, and next is dark. Like this fringes will form on the screen. What is fringe width means? The distance between two consecutive bright, these are two bright fringes, consecutive bright fringes. This distance is nothing but fringe width, or the distance between two consecutive dark fringe. This distance is also called as fringe width. Then to obtain the expression for fringe width, what I will do? I will write beta is equals to xn minus 1. Okay, or nth bright fringe minus n minus 1 bright fringe. Okay, if I calculate this one, I can able to find the value of fringe width. That means this side definitely 1, 2, 3 like that you will get nth bright fringe. Definitely after a dark fringe again you will get a bright fringe. That bright fringe is nothing but xn minus 1. So if you subtract xn minus 1 minus this one, xn minus 1, what you will get? This distance is nothing but the fringe width, and this beta is equals to xn, nth bright fringe. You can consider bright fringe condition or you can consider dark fringe condition, but I am considering a bright fringe condition, it's enough. Xn means here n lambda capital D divided by small d minus x n minus 1. xn minus 1 means in the place of n you have to consider n minus 1. n minus 1 lambda capital D divided by d. So beta is equals to lambda capital D divided by small d. You take common outside and inside the bracket n minus of n minus 1. Then this will get cancelled. Then fringe width expression you will get lambda capital D divided by small d. That is the expression for fringe width. I hope you understood. This is very important for 5 marks. You have to practice well. And remember from that expression, the fringe width we came to know beta is equals to lambda capital D divided by small d. From here we came to know that fringe width directly proportional to lambda, and here fringe width is directly proportional to d and fringe width is inversely proportional to small d. That means if you place the screen very far distance, the fringe width increases, and if you increase the distance between two slits, that is inversely proportional, right, the fringe width decreases. Here we are using monochromatic light, so if you increase the wavelength, the fringe width also increases. This is how the fringe width depends. So in the next class we will discuss some more concepts on this Young's double slit experiment, which are useful for competitive exam. This derivation is especially for PU exam. Thank you.